Hey everyone, welcome back to the shop. Really awesome episode this time around. It jumps around a bit. I realized I did not film the intro until now, after everything was done. This episode, I'm going to take you guys for a ride. We're going to get some paint on this. We're going to try out a beautiful blue color, get some panels primered, and work on the truck a little bit. So stay tuned. Hope you guys like this episode. Alright guys, well as I said in the intro, I filmed this backwards. So I'm going to give you guys just a quick rundown of what I'm using and how I'm painting all these parts. So I'm going to flip the camera around and show you what I've got. For those of you who do not know auto paint very well, there's generally two types that people use. It's either a base coat and a clear coat, which is the most common now, or there's the single stage paint, which is essentially your base coat and clear coat mixed together. Now, the single stage paint is a lot easier to spray, a lot harder to mess up. There's just less steps involved, and it's generally a lot cheaper of a paint. However, it doesn't normally last quite as long as two stages, and it's a little bit harder to polish and take care of. So pretty much everything nowadays is the two stage, really three if you count the primer. So I'll go through everything I've got. First off, safety gear. Although I'm spraying everything outside in this video, it's always important to wear proper safety gear. You never want to breathe in any of these fumes from any paint, really. So just always remember to do that. What I do is I get the panels all cleaned up. In this episode, you'll see some of them get sandblasted. I'm just using brake parts cleaner. It's a really good all-purpose cleaner that gets just any grease and grime off. A lot of guys use acetone. Acetone's a great product. It does a really good job. So I use brake parts cleaner, and I just use a tack cloth. Tack cloths are really good at picking up lint, any little dirt that gets on your panel. Just does a really good job of cleaning up your panel for you. And these are super cheap. I think I picked these up for like 75 cents a packet, something like that. So very cheap, definitely worth getting. The primer I use is just this Tech Elite Medallion primer. Just a two-part primer, so you mix in the activator and the primer together, let it sit for a second, let it start reacting together, and just go ahead and spray it. Now the spray gun I'm using in this video is just a cheap Harbor Freight, like $15 spray gun, nothing special at all. Pretty much anyone can just go pick these up. There's a lot of companies that make them. Harbor Freight's not the only place, obviously. But for spraying just primer, this did a really good job. So I was pretty happy with it. The thing you want to remember is to have an air compressor that can handle the proper PSI setting that you need. And you also want to make sure that you always have filters in your gun. So any water, any oil that gets through the air filter system, through the air compressor, will come through your paint gun, land on your panel, and screw up your paint job. So on the bottom, I've got just an air-water separator. Let me see if you can focus on there. You see the water inside it. It separates it when the air gets compressed. A lot of that, the water just in the air turns into a liquid and comes out your hose. So you want to avoid that. And this is just another filter up top that collects water. You can see a little bit in there as well. So I got two just to be safe. Super cheap. Don't cheap out on these. They're absolutely worth it. So after I got the primer sprayed, I have to clean out the spray gun. Lacquer thinner works really great for that. You can also use wash solvent, acetone, a lot of other products as well. Another product I picked up for this is reducer. This thins out your paints. It doesn't work for every type of paint, so just double check what you have, make sure reducer works. Other things like lacquer thinner might be the best bet for you. So just check with what you've got. That lets you spray the paint a lot easier. It makes it thin so it comes out the gun really nicely. So you might, look at doing that for your project. After that, I got this Chromax base paint. This is the blue that I'm going to be spraying in the video. This is a really good paint. Not the craziest, most expensive paint out there, but it's certainly a premium paint. This little can was like $30, so definitely not cheap, and that's with my discount I got on it too. So I'll spray the clear coat after the base coat. So this will protect the base coat, keep everything nice and shiny, keep it looking nice and beautiful. Now I got the slow activator for the clear coat. They have medium and fast. The difference is how quickly it reacts with the main clear coat here. The activator will go slowly in this application, so it dries a lot slower. Now that's not always the best thing, especially with winter coming. The temperatures are dropping. Right now the humidity is kind of high, so slow activator is not exactly the best for my application. But at the time I bought it, it was what I needed. So I just went ahead and used it anyway, just as this is a demo video, basically, of how I painted and what the color looks like that I chose. So stay tuned, I'll show you guys the rest of the painting process. All right, we are ready to start some painting. I got the gun set up, my primer, everything's cleaned out, got my air filters on. Just doing a quick test spray. I want to make sure that this the color of blue that I picked is one that I want to go ahead and keep. I just got these two little like inspection lids that go up by the front of the hood here. We're gonna spray primer first and then do the blue and one coat of clear. I'm not looking to make it perfect. It's definitely not going to be perfect. I just want to see what it looks like and see if that's the choice of color I want to do. So I'll get this primer all mixed up and I'll show you the spraying. All right, well, we got the first coat on the underside of these little inspection lids. The sprayer is working just fine. No issues so far. It looks pretty clean. There aren't any weird like fisheye type things from any oil residues or anything like that stuck on here. They're looking pretty clean. I'll flip them over and do the other side and film that for you guys. All right, we'll try to do this one-handed. It's a little awkward. All right, well, that went okay. I know I'm outside. It's super well ventilated. I really don't need to wear a respirator, honestly, with just the small amount I'm spraying and, again, being outside. Still going to wear it anyways. Safety's always better. It's looking pretty good, though. Let me flip the camera around for you guys. I've used this stuff before on about 3 other projects. Had great results every time, no issues with it. All the products I've been using have been working really good so far. The weather's been keeping up. I just got a little bit of clear mixed in here, just enough to get a coat on here, just so I can see what it looks like with the clear on. The underside of these are still the primer. I'm not going to be painting those blue quite yet. These will be getting redone. I just want to get an idea of it. So I'll go ahead and finish mixing up that primer, or sorry, the clear coat. All right, we're good to go. That's not the best spraying in the world, but it'll do. All right, that's good enough for me. We'll see how it dries. All right, guys, well, it's been about an hour since I sprayed these. They're dry to the touch, but they're still, you know, this paint's still kind of soft. I am absolutely loving this color. So this is the original color of the car. It's a light blue metallic. This has just a small tweak to it. The color originally has fine and medium metallic flake added into it. I switched out the fine and did coarse, so that makes it slightly more metallic looking than the original paint color. I'm liking that a lot. It doesn't look very metallic in person per se. It's still pretty subtle, and you wouldn't really notice, probably unless you put it up to the original color, a car with the original color on it. I'm thinking, I'm kind of debating if I should add more metallic or keep it how it is right now, a little bit more stock looking, a little bit more original. So you guys can comment down below what you think, if you're liking how it looks right now, or if you'd want to see just a little bit more metallic in it. This color though, I really like this blue color. I'm pretty positive I'm gonna keep this. This looks amazing. So yeah, I'll have more panels getting done soon. Not with the blue, but with primer, so that'll be coming up in the next video. Getting a lot of work done behind the scenes right now. It's crazy how much time and effort has to go into each episode. Not necessarily filming wise, but just planning ahead and getting everything sorted out so it's all ready to go. So thanks for staying tuned. Thanks for checking this episode out. Go ahead, like, subscribe, comment, and share this video with all your friends. Thanks, everyone. I got some awesome news. I got these panels all finished up at the media blasters, the driver and passenger door, and the rear hatch as well. All finished up. They got done a day early, so I was able to pick them up just a couple of hours ago. So I'll go ahead and do some paint work on these as well. I finished these about 2 days ago, which you saw either earlier or later in this episode. I don't know which. Everything's all backwards now. But anyway, I'm gonna get these cleaned up, and I'm gonna spray some primer on the tops of the doors, and we'll just go as far as I can. I'm starting to run out of daylight. It's getting a little bit dark, so I'll get what I can get done today and take you guys along for the ride. So I just finished spraying these parts here. You saw the camera fall over probably about halfway through filming it. I had it stood up, but the wind knocked it right over. Sorry about that. You missed some of the footage. I figured while I'm out here, I might as well work on the truck a little bit. As you guys might know, I paint. I am a commercial and residential painter. So the back of my truck has seen a lot better days. I got some bed liner I'm gonna spray into it while I'm out here. I just finished scraping it out, swept it, got a bunch of the big paint chunks off. Washed it out yesterday, so it's pretty clean now. I'm gonna get started on painting it black. I went to Harbor Freight and got their, was it Iron Armor? Yeah, Iron Armor truck bed coating. Being from Harbor Freight, it's probably pretty crap. But compared to what it looks like right now, it'll be a huge improvement. So we'll see how it goes, and I'll film it for you guys. All right, it's looking really good so far. I'm waiting for the air compressor to catch up, and I need to refill my paint spray gun as well. That's a really big change though. It's going on pretty well. The paint sprays nicely. I have zero complaints about it so far. I would try and film it for you guys in time lapse. I know everybody likes time lapse. The only problem is I don't have a camera stand, and I'm actually filming this on my iPhone, so not exactly the highest quality production here. But I'll give you updates through it, and maybe I'll film a little bit more of the spraying. But it's looking really good so far. I'm really happy with it. All right, just finished up. It's looking really good. There's a couple weird spots where it flashed, like the paint dried quicker in certain areas than others. That's because of wind, because of how close I'm holding the spray gun to the bed. You know, it varied. It's doing it in sections. I did that section and that section, then this third. So that's why it looks so funky. That's my fault. That's the bad weather. That's the way I sprayed it. But for me, that is perfectly fine. This is a work truck after all, and this looks about 1,000,000 times better. This will finish curing. It's totally dry right now. It'll finish curing a little bit, and once the sun bakes it a bit, it'll look fine. Down here, this section is just plastic, so this I'm not painting that, obviously. This I'll need to use some latex paint remover, and that should just wipe off pretty easily. So that'll be for another day. But yeah, look at that. That's looking way better. It's old work trucks. It's doing well. I just hit 172,000 miles on it. It's been doing good. So super happy with that. Back to the Datsun parts. This is all dried up now. It looks really good. The primer went on great. Looks excellent. There are a couple spots on these doors that need to be welded still. On the front side, these two holes here, this is the driver's side door. This used to have a mirror on it. If you go back to the old videos, you can see that. These need to be welded shut. The mirrors I have now don't bolt up the exact same way. They're different mirrors. So that'll need to be done. As well as these holes here. There used to be a chrome strip that ran across the whole car. those are getting deleted, so that'll need to be just welded, those tiny little pinholes basically. That'll be a project for another day. They got sandblasted, so I wanted to get them primed so they don't rust. So they're all looking really good. I'm really happy with how they turned out. And I think that might be the end of this episode for you guys. Thank you for watching. Please like, comment, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. All right, now before you guys get mad at me for the paint work I did, I'm not a professional painter. This is absolutely a DIY job. There's a couple steps I did mess up for sure. But learn from my mistakes, see what I did, see what you like, see what you hate, and that'll help you with your own project in the future.